Seriously, sometimes I just love when BuzzFeed does the weirdest article names. Things that are way bigger than your stupid brain thought they were. It's like, Jesus Christ, BuzzFeed, I'm just, trying to have a nice day, trying to make some YouTube videos, and you're out here calling me stupid? I don't deserve this. I mean, I totally do deserve this. I'm quite stupid, but hey, it's not the point. BuzzFeed is attacking me, okay? One like, one prayer. Sometimes I meet people and they're like, you're much smaller or much bigger than I expected, you know what I mean? So we're about to put some things in perspective and look at the different sizes of different things. I don't explain things the right way. Let's look at big things that we didn't realize how big they were. This is how big a traffic light is compared to a person. I think this is something I struggled with when I was a kid, is when you are so small and you're a kid, you think everything's huge. Like, I used to think an oval was like the biggest thing in the world. My school was just massive. Looking back now, I'm like, it actually wasn't that big. But for something like a traffic light, because it's so far away, it seems smaller, but when you're actually lifting it up, I mean, this man's is strong. Look at his muscles. It actually is so big. Are you sure this hasn't been photoshopped? I'm calling bullshit. There is no way. Come on. You have to agree with me. There is no way that it looks that big when it's up in the sky, when it's hanging, from the pole. It's like my brain is just playing tricks on me because I don't know whether to believe this image or not. And this is how big a moose is. Really freaking big. It's like, so you're going to call me stupid, BuzzFeed, but you can't even say fucking? Really fucking big. I mean, that's a good representation of a size, a measurement. Really big. Really, really big. Absolute unit. I agree. Trust me, you see that? You walk the other direction. Can you two stop fighting, please? I'm trying to make videos, okay? Like, I'm picturing myself in a situation where I'm near a huge moose like that. I'm running. Do they run fast because I'm actually scared? What? I can't believe the person even has the balls to take photos of this. Are mooses, it just sounds weird when I say it. Are mooses friendly? Are they like bears? I don't know. I got yelled at for saying that bears can run because apparently they can't. I don't know. This is how big Shaq is compared to a chicken wing. I know Shaq's big. I've heard that Shaq is a big man. He's a big human. He's a big boy. But that's got to be a small chicken wing. How much does this man eat? That's what I want to know. Like, because that to me is like a big chicken wing. But that to him looks like he's literally playing with a fake miniature wing or a really, really small chicken. I would love to be in Shaq's head just for a little bit. I want to know how he lives. Like, I just want to be in the mind frame of a huge human. And this is what Shaq looks like drinking a normal sized bottle of water. Everything just looks miniature next to him. I'm used to being a small person. Like, I'm like 5'3", 5'4". Like, Jesus. He's so big and everything else is so small. And on the flip side, this is how big Shaq is compared to the tallest man that ever lived. I mean, in theory, in practicality, is that a word? I'm trying to sound smart. Is that, in practicality, I don't think that's a word. Look at the size of the tallest man that ever lived. Shaq looks small to him, but also in this picture, can we add Tannar? Tannar's probably around here. Little Tannar, let's just draw her in there, little Photoshop battle. Tannar right here at about 5'3". Then you got Shaq 7 foot, and the tallest man that ever lived was 9? What? Bro, life is weird, man. Here's what $10,000 in hundreds looks like compared to $10,000 in one. And I know what one looks cooler. That bad boy. Bloody throwing hundreds, but it's actually just dollar notes. Listen, if I was going to the bank and asking for 10 grand, you'd be stupid not to ask for it in dollar notes, even though we don't have them here in Australia. Dollar coins? How many dollar coins would 10 grand be? Ooh. Wants to save up 10 grand just to get 10 grand in cash out. I can't imagine the bank would be too happy about you asking for $10,000 in just dollar notes though. Like, look at how old they are compared to like, here's some brand new cash we got. They're probably scraping the absolute barrel looking for all the dollars for your $10,000 in dollar notes. Why would anyone, other than the fact that it looks like a lot of money, need 10 grand in dollar notes? I'm confused. And this is how big Michelangelo's David statue is. I feel like I've seen this. I feel like I've been here. Have I been there? Where's that? Florence. Yes, I've been to Florence. I am quite cultured myself. He's apparently 17 foot tall. That's real big. That's a small little human. 17 foot? Does that make sense? Yes, 17 foot seems about right. Look at me trying to figure it out in my head. This video is just making me confused and I just can't do it. My poor little brain, my poor stupid brain. It makes sense that statues are like larger than obviously just a normal human. Like they're huge, pieces of art, pieces of historical... Never mind. This is how big male bisons can get. Look at the size of this man's head. Like, that is a beast and a half. Also, how do they control such a large animal when we're so small? He looks like he could run through a house, and I'm genuinely terrified. They can weigh up to 2,000 pounds. God, that's me after, a big summer of drinking and eating, if I do say so myself. This is how huge horses' lungs are. Now, I saw this one before as I was scrolling through and I thought, nah, it ain't real. There's no way, because I'm trying to put myself, like, horses are big, but like my lungs aren't like most of my body. That seems like it would take up a lot of the horse's body. I mean, at least you know they've got lots of room for breathing. It looks like Forbidden Starburst. It looks like it's fake, and it looks like a red moth. Am I the only person that's getting moth vibes? Sorry. Whenever I hear moth, I just picture the lamp memes. I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't know about this. It doesn't look real. I mean, I believe the scientists that are clearly in this image, but I just don't get it. Still, my stupid brain cannot, even when it's in the image with another human, I can't put it in perspective to a horse. I just don't get it. My brain, it hurts. This is what a gorilla's hands look like compared to our tiny hands. I have short, stubby hands as it is, but look at that. That would crush you in a second. That's what I see when I look at that hand. I'm like, oh, my teeny tiny hand. Also, you might die. Get away from the gorilla. I'm sure they're beautiful creatures. I'm sorry, but I just see that hand grabbing your head and going, sorry. Am I being, a little bit too negative? But it's a little bit terrifying. I know that they mean well, but whew. Don't get on a gorilla's bad side, that's all I'm saying. This is how big a redwood tree is. The fact that any tree is that size freaks me out. I've never actually visited a place where there's trees that big. Like, that's why I physically cannot imagine it. Are you sure that this is real? Has this been confirmed? Has this been fact checked? Look at how tiny that little human is. Also, this car looks like it's in the fucking 1940s real quick. Like, that's why I don't believe it. I've never seen a car like that. Was Photoshop around then? I want to find big trees like this. Where can I find them? I want to see this in person to believe it. I gotta see it to believe it. And this is the size of Australia compared to the size of Pluto. Pluto, you know, the planet that wasn't a planet, then it was a planet again. Then they're like, no, hold on. I don't think you're a planet. This kind of makes sense as to why it's a, dwarf planet? Like the fact that they were, is it a planet? We don't know if it's a planet. Look at the size of it. It's tiny. I thought Earth was like a little speck compared to all the other planets. And over here, Pluto's the same size as Australia. I'm shook. I'm shooketh. I'm very shooketh about the size of Pluto. Pluto doesn't seem bigger. It seems smaller to me. I thought this was about looking at things that are bigger than what our brain thought they were, but I thought Pluto was bigger than just the size of Australia. Bloody tiny, mate. This is the size of a person next to a blade from a wind turbine. I don't know if I believe it. That is huge. Wait for it. Huge. That's a huge. Like, let's look at a wind turbine. Like, real quick. Let's just look at one. Like, don't get me wrong. They look big. When you're driving down the highway and you can see them on a farm, they look like big things, but they don't look that big. That's just one of the wind turbines. Not the whole thing. That's just one. And that's how little tiny human is next to big wind turbine. Sorry, I had to like dumb that down for myself. Big turbine, little human. Tannar shook. So that's one of the I'm making the sound of a wind turbine. It kind of makes sense now why they need such a large bit of land to be able to put like a whole bunch of them. They need a lot of space. Bruh, that is a big truck. That's a big twuck. Very, very big twuck. Look at the size of the bus behind it. That's just like a normal everyday bus, which in comparison to a human is also quite large. Look at the size of the truck. When driving out to the bush before, you can see trucks that have just like parts of the other truck, the big truck, on a little truck. They got like the big wheel and it's like strapped on. You're like, that's a wheel for a bigger truck. There's like a truck, a bigger truck, a bigger truck. Oh, this is really hurting my brain. A mining dump truck compared to a school bus. Like, you got to think about it. They got to carry a lot of dirt. So there's no point doing it with a normal sized truck that would fit on the everyday roads. They got to fit a lot of dirt, a lot of materials in said trucks, so we're gonna need a bigger truck. This beautiful creature is a full-grown wombat. It's big, very big. She's thick. What's she been eating? When I picture wombat, I do not picture a large animal like that. I picture like a little cuddly one, like probably the size of Willy, I would say, in comparison. That's what I picture when I picture a wombat, but she's thick. Is she just big? Or is that a normal size for a wombat? She looks happy though. She's like, I've been eating good. What do wombats even eat? Well, it's safe to say a lot of things have been put into perspective. I'm a little bit confused. I am definitely shook. I repeat, shook. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I learned some shit, man. I like coming out of a video knowing that I've learned a little bit. And today, that most definitely happened. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. And yeah, Pluto ain't that big, man. Does it deserve to be a planet? Is it a planet? Is Pluto a planet? Dwarf planet? Doesn't really seem that cool. All right. Goodbye. I don't know what I'm doing.